Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is MOHAMAD SYAHMI bin Shukri and my matrix number is 2020866738, and I'm going to talk about chapter 2 in subject communication management or CMP281, which is communication and strategies in the video. So without wasting any time, let's go to the introduction of this chapter, which is 5 basic consideration. So in this chapter, they have 5 basic considerations in communication and strategies. So let's take a look. For the first one is communicator, which is referred to who should send this message. And for the second, there is the audience, which is who should receive this message. And for the third one, the message itself, which is what should we say or what should we say. And for the fourth, we have channel choice, which is on how to convey the message. And the last is the cultural context, which is what cultural factor will affect this term of communication. So that's it for the introduction for this chapter, which is the 5 basic of consideration in communication and strategies. So let's take a look at the communication objective. The communication objective are divided into 3 parts, which is the general objective, the action, and also the communication. In general objective, it is important to be clear what you intend to achieve. So that's it, the mean by the in general objective. For action objective, think about how you are going to achieve your overall goal. So that's it for the action objective. And for communication objective, think about why you are communicating. So that's it, the explanation about the 3 communication objective. Okay, next we will talk about the communication style. Your choice of communication style will be determined by 2 major factors, which is audience involvement and also the content control. Okay, so the way the audience respond during the conversation determine whether they will engage you in conversation passively or actively. For content control is how dominant you must be in conversation depend on the other party styles and the content itself. So next we have the style. The style have 4 choice of image to select, which are tell, sell, join, and also consult. For tell and sell, it include less audience interaction and more content control. So to inform, you use the tell style, and to pursue it, you use the sell style. The opposite of that, consult and join style feature higher audiences and lower content control. So to gather information, use consult style, and for join style, use to collaborate with the audience. Okay, as you can see on this slide, this is how you choose an appropriate style for your communications. You can see on the y-axis you have content control, and for the x-axis you have audience involvement. And as you can see there, there's high and low, and in the middle of the box it show you the style, which is tell, sell, console, and join. And this is how you choose which one the most appropriate style to be used. Next is communication credibility. In general, 5 factors will impact your credibility, which is the first is rank, followed by goodwill, third expertise, fourth image, and finally shared value. This brings us to the audience strategy, which is entitled responding to 4 set of questions, which is who are they, what do they know, what do they feel, and how can you motivate them. Let's take a look at the first part, which is who they are. Who they are is divided into 5 sections, which is primary audience, secondary audience, gatekeeper, opinion leaders, and key decision makers. For what do they know is how much knowledge they have originally, and what and how much you need to add the new information to them. Next is how do they feel. How do they feel? It is how interesting is your message, and what is the direction, and what are the possible outcomes. So next is for how can you motivate them. For how can you motivate them, it is a shared value and common ground, goodwill and reciprocity, rank and reward or punishment, and it is also message structure. Okay, moving on to the message strategy. Message strategies you can use two method, which is direct approach or indirect approach. Okay, so for approach, they enhance comprehension. It focus on the audience and save time. For indirect approach, it is when you think about communicating with your audience indirectly, and it is suitable for sensitive message with emotional. Moving on to the channel choice strategies. The first one we have writing, and the second one we have speaking. Writing create a lasting record, can be utilized to express enormous detail and allows for a careful language. And for speaking create a broader environment with non-verbal indication, less rigid, less permanence, non-permanent record, and sort of things. Next, we have the other four, which is formal, informal, and individual or group. For formal, its legal negotiations may state formal channel. They are exact, regulated, rational focus. And for informal, of course, formal routes may be preferable for gathering new ideas since they are faster, more engaging, and original creative. So, for individual channel help build the development of individual interactions and elicit individual reaction and may be more secure or private. And for grouping, working with people develop the group identity and make sure all the audience members receive the message at the same time. Last but not least, we have cultural strategies, which is not all cultures react the same way to send this message or channel. It is wise to think about your audience likely react from a cultural standpoint. The thing that you have to consider is time of distance, communication style, non-verbal mannerism, and lastly, language. So I think that's all for chapter review for subjects communication management. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching my video. So I think that's all for me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.